I'm Candice Dickens, the owner of CRA Counseling Consulting Agency and known to you all as Dope Black Therapist. I am excited because I have the most amazing person with me. I have Coach Claudette. How are you?
I am wonderful.
I'm
It is so good to be here. How are you?
I am great. I am so excited that you're here because this is a topic tonight that I think everyone deals with. People think that it's just for people who are famous or who are wealthy. But for many people, I know that you coach people into success and to being prosperous
hmm
and you do a lot of life coaching and professional coaching. But once we get there, like once you coach people there, and their success sometimes becomes the community success. It belongs to the people who
Yes.
help them get there, or it belongs to the people who they feel haven't quite been successful and they benefit from that.
hmm
And one of the things I want to talk about is, how you coach people to be successful and to have some boundaries. So tell us about your experience with coaching people and what you've noticed that happens when people do get a level of success emotionally and in their relationships.
That's a great question, and this is a fabulous topic because I was having this conversation this weekend about people who borrow money out, and I heard the most amazing and true story. And they say when they borrow money, they away from you until they forget that they owe you money.
Until they need it again.
Yes, until they meet again. Yes, and so what I tell my clients is simply that your success. Like we all have helpers along the way, and the helpers that, in my opinion, the helpers that we have in our experience are sent by the universe. They are our divine helpers. They don't need anything. They don't want anything from us. Their joy comes from helping us. And so when you have someone who doesn't feel that way, then are they good? Are they what you need in your life? You know?
Yeah. So what about the people who feel like people help me, so I should help back,
hmm
right? And then becomes a cycle of helping, right?
And so if the spirit moves you, right, right. But if the spirit moves you to help someone, he said to me yesterday, if spirit doesn't tell me to help them, then I'm not helping them. If spirit doesn't move me, then I don't
Yes,
move
yes, yes.
my wallet. And so,
Hello.
you know,
Somebody to hear that.
right?
How
If
do you tell the
spirit
difference
doesn't
between
move
spirit?
me, go ahead.
How do you tell the difference between spirit, guilt, and family legacy? Because sometimes it's my mother did this for me, so I do this for my brother, and then my brother will do it for my nephews. And sometimes it's I feel guilty if I don't help. I feel like I've let people down.
You know, one of my favorite words, selfish. And so means for me is self-care. And so if I'm going to do something for you, I'm going and I stop doing it. And that's what I tell my clients. When you are doing some vision, check in with you
Right.
because your body always tells you what's really going. Say you get that hunch or this person just rubbed you the wrong way, even though they haven't said or done anything. It's your body
Right.
talking to you. And so listen.
Your body will tell you when it's so if it doesn't
Mhm.
feel good or it doesn't feel good anymore, right?
Mhm. Yes.
That's when you give yourself permission to be, you said
Mhm.
selfish, but what we say as clinicians is to be self-oriented. Because selfish people are
Mhm.
afraid
This
that if
is
in our field, that if I
mhm.
if I show up, then you can't eat. or if I share, you won't be successful. They're always afraid of something bad happening. But self-oriented
Mm-hmm.
people will say, no, I don't show up. I know that you got the God in you, or that you're resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
And I can help you, and it won't hurt me, but I won't do something that's going to hurt me. I'm being self-oriented, and I'm believing that the universe will send you some, or is trying to develop something in you so that you can take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And it's also to recognize that when the universe sends us help, it may not be help that we're expecting. And so
Mm.
it's important for us to not um, throw that away, not to throw away the opportunity or that thing simply because it didn't come in the package that we wanted in.
Got it.
And
Got it.
so, and the other thing too is that, if I am going to help you today, who's going to help you tomorrow? Or what are you going to do tomorrow? Because
Mm.
as an example, if someone calls you up and says, hey, I need some money to pay my rent. Okay, but who's going to pay your rent? Because if it's
Mm.
happening
Great question.
now, then next month is not going to be any different, particularly if you are a person of your word. Because if you ask me to
Yes.
borrow it, you're also going to give me a date when I can expect it back. But how do you pay me
Mm.
back when you have rent next month? And so it's
True.
like it becomes a vicious cycle until we decide that I am to allow this person to step into their own power, figure out their way.
Mm. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that means I have to believe that they have the power to be their own solution.
Yes, yes,
Because sometimes it's that
yes,
we don't trust people with their own lives. So we
yes,
play
yes. You're
God, right?
absolutely right.
So
Mm-hmm.
we play God, or I'm not comfortable, so I become like a helicopter parent to people, even when these aren't my
Mm-hmm.
children, right?
Right.
Instead of learning how to manage the anxiety within myself, or even when we look at the shame, because sometimes, within certain cultures, there is a tendency of saying, hey, in our culture, we're very
Yes.
close. We take care of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Any advice on how to be culturally based and self-respectful? Because within some cultures, there is
Boundaries.
that thing about taking care. How do you have
Mm-hmm.
boundaries within your culture and be respectful of others?
So, this conversation with someone who was having this cultural experience around that.
Yes.
And what I got her to was her body and how she was feeling. And so, if, as an example, she got a call to say, hey, can you come over and do this for me? If her body reacted in a negative way and feel good about it, she would say,
Mm.
middle of something right now, can I come over? She says, because that now the time to become mentally and emotionally ready, whatever it is that she has to deal with. Because, a lot of we feel that if someone calls, we have to move right then. We don't. It's not an emergency. If it's
Yeah,
an emergency, they should call 911.
absolutely. Absolutely. So it's really being self-connected. And that's what I'm hearing,
Mm-hmm.
that there's a
Mm-hmm.
desire to be
Yes.
self-connected to the self. Like, what does your body say? I
Mm-hmm.
know what your culture says, but what does your body
Right.
say? And which one becomes more important?
Yes.
Connection to the self
Mm-hmm.
or to the culture? And can you do both?
Mm-hmm. Right. And what's really interesting is that I had a conversation with a woman, and and my talk was titled The Joy of Selfishness. And I have that talk by defining selfish and selfless. Selfless is regard for others, or selfless is self. I'm just messing it all up. But
So you
self
you do
is
good. We
regard
get
for
you. We
self.
get you. Yeah.
Yes. So why would I if I have all of my regard for someone else, then who has regard for me? And so I was explaining,
Mm.
she was complaining about having to go do something for her. And what I asked her was if she could do this tomorrow. I said, because the energy that I'm getting from you right now, your mother will notice when you get to her house. And so why would you want to take that kind of energy? Wouldn't you want to go to your mother in love and in peace and not with this that you're feeling right now?
That.
And she was offended because she said I didn't understand. She had to go do this for her mother. And
Mm.
I think that when we are able to set boundaries and read our bodies, no, it's not just about them, it's about us too. It's about us too. Like, why am I feeling this way, and why am I going to go through with this when I'm feeling this way? So
Absolutely.
anyway.
And here's the other part. And when we have connection with self, is recognizing I'm in this pattern that dishonors me. Because for us, selfless means you can't show up so that someone else can exist.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be
Right.
like when we're pregnant, like, oh, I can't eat seafood, I can't eat this, I can't be because in order for this
Mm-hmm.
child to go into all the way until the end of the pregnancy, until delivery, I've
Mm-hmm.
got to be selfless.
Mm-hmm.
I can't matter so the baby can
Mm-hmm.
matter. And then sometimes
Right.
we still have those infant relationships with people who
Mm-hmm.
raised us, where I can't matter, respect
Mm-hmm.
for them matters. But part of
Mm-hmm.
adulthood is about
Right.
being autonomous and recognizing
Yes.
that shame
Yes.
and guilt might be used to manipulate behaviors and keep you in a childlike pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't happen just
Mm-hmm.
with parents. It happens sometimes with supervisors, with people of power,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes with people who've not
Yes.
also made great choices.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
That
Mm-hmm.
self-care, that
Mm-hmm.
awareness part. Yeah. So what
Yes.
are some
Yes.
tips
Absolutely.
of creating some healthy boundaries so they could be more self-aware, self-oriented,
Hmm.
self-loving, self-caring, and can recognize when
Now,
someone is preying upon them, right? Because sometimes there are outside
I.
people who are like inside people who are like predators, where they look
Mm-hmm.
for, they see your success as their come up, or as their opportunity, or as their exit plan, or their come up plan, right? So, what are some ways to have
Mm-hmm.
boundaries, and
Yes.
what are some ways to recognize when someone's preying upon either your guilt, your shame, your culture, something?
Mm-hmm.
I love this topic.
So I will start your feelings. Like, everything that you need to know is right here. It's right. And so if you can just stop for a moment and recognize that it's all inside of you, all of the answers that you need, all of the guidance and the directions. Like, we spend a lot of time looking for outside validation, and the validation comes from within. And so
Speak it, someone needs to hear that.
how that shows and so
Say
how
that
that
again.
shows up, feelings. Okay. Everything that you need, you have within you. Everything. Like, there is no one outside you that knows what's really going on with you but you. And your body tells you if this is good, or maybe I should make another choice. Bodies tell us that. People think, oh, I get butterflies, I'm nervous. No, stop. Ask yourself, why am I really getting butterflies? And I like this question. Are you to see me come, or to see me go? Because I need to determine where you are in my experience. So, like, those that's it for me. Like, everything you need to know is inside. Pay attention to the signals of your body and know that if you are happy, the world around you is happy. If they are not happy, they are not your world and not your tribe.
Preach, preach, preach. Can I, if I can add to that, sometimes we think
Mhm.
our purpose is to make people happy. So we do people pleasing. And we think that we
Get
were
it.
born to be the second coming. And that's where guilt's
Mm-hmm.
at. Like, I've got to please people
Yeah.
because if I don't please them, they're going to be mad at me. We'll say, well, what will happen if they're mad at you? Then they'll leave you.
Right.
And what will happen then?
Right.
Because it's not that they're not
Right.
connected to you, they're connected to the benefits associated with you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
But take away those
Mm-hmm.
benefits and see if they'll still be connected to you, right? And
Mm.
sometimes our
People
deepest
don't think
fears
about
that
that.
people, Ooh. Sometimes our deepest fears
Mm-hmm.
that people won't accept us as we are without those benefits. Yeah.
Mm. Wow. And so that means that I was reading, I was listening to something the other day, and the woman on a date, she goes over to the man's house and she takes off her glasses and her nails, and she takes all her stuff off and she puts it on the sofa, and he looks at her and he says, geez, all the good stuff's over there on the sofa. So why do we feel the need to be someone that we are not? And then when we get comfortable, we want to shed that skin, and now people are shocked, like, who are you? Like, where did you come from?
Oh,
When you were there all
yeah.
along, just hiding, And so, yeah, just be free and be
Mm.
you.
But sometimes, and I love that, and that takes courage because sometimes the message is,
Mhm.
I
It
don't
does.
want you, but I want the things that you have. I don't want you. I want you to be who
Yeah.
I want you to be. Right. And that's that guilt that we get. Like, I don't really
Mm-hmm.
want
Yeah.
you. So be seen, but not heard. Be who I want to be the trophy person, but not really seeing me, the person, but seeing the
Right.
trophy before the person.
Right.
And then
Right.
realizing
And go back to
you're a person
you.
first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Good.
And I go back to, how does that feel to you?
Mm, I love that.
Just that's it. Just how does that feel to you? Everything for me, everything goes back to, how does that feel to you?
Mm,
Like,
how does it
why do I want to
connect
hang
you to
out
the
with you if I feel bad? Like, I'm stressed, I'm anxious about getting with you, but I still come around and you have an upset stomach, and I'm just
mm,
sick every time I schedule time with you. But then I keep
yeah.
scheduling time with you. Like, I
Yep.
don't I don't know. I am choosing you
Yep.
more than I love myself.
Oof. Oof. So I'm choosing to disconnect from myself in order to be who you want
Mm-hmm.
me to be. And that is what shame does. Like when we
Mm-hmm.
shame people, we look at you, make that
Yeah.
part of you go away so
Mm-hmm.
that I can be comfortable. So then we get shamed and guilted out of
Yeah.
ourselves and become who people want
Mm-hmm.
us to be. So our success becomes their
Mm-hmm.
success. And that's where the predatory thing happens.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ooh, I
They're
love it.
miserable and they're happy.
Mm, love it. So
Mm-hmm.
if I so the takeaways that people are going to get from this conversation is creating boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
connecting to self, asking yourself, does this make me happy? What were some of the other things that you think that people really need to take away from this conversation?
So you had the boundaries, and how does this make me feel, and happier to see them come or to see them go.
Mm,
And am I doing this because it's what I want to do? Is it because I feel it's what's expected of me?
got it. And am I afraid of what's going to happen if I don't do it? Will I be punished? Or is there fear that they won't be enough? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And is that why
Yes.
I'm doing this? Because I don't trust them with their lives. So that I won't be, I'm
Right. Or
enabling
I
them to be
don't trust
disabled.
me.
Or I
Right.
don't trust me.
Or
Or better yet, I don't know
I
how to,
don't trust me.
I don't trust me. What does that mean? I don't trust me.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what
I don't
does
trust
that
me.
mean? Because it means
You,
something different for everyone. Like,
yeah.
I don't trust me to allow them to be who they are. I don't trust
Mm,
me if I don't have them to take care of, then what am I going to do with myself? I don't trust me because I don't have a life outside of trying to control someone else's life. So,
woo!
like,
Preach.
I don't trust me, to be in my own business. I don't trust that. I don't trust me, and so yeah, why?
Oh, I love it. For 1 second, you reminded me of Tabitha Brown. Mind your business.
Mm.
But when we don't trust ourselves, we have right. And she said, mind your
Mhm,
business because minding your business is about managing you,
mhm,
managing the business of you, the emotions of you, the career of you.
mhm.
Trust that you'll be okay.
So yes, so I had adopted grandmother who has made transition, and she
Oh,
said to me one day, she says, "Baby, spend 6 months minding your business and the other 6 months staying out of other people's business, and your life will
oh, I love
always be
it.
wonderful." Well, wait a minute
That's wisdom.
now. If I'm 6 and 6 out of yours, that's the whole 12 in mine. I don't have time for nobody.
I love it. Now that is wisdom, and that's a great place where we can pause at. How do people reach you,
Mhm.
Coach Claudette? Because you're amazing.
They can reach me at Claudette at CoachClaudette.com, website CoachClaudette.com, and yeah, that's how.
Awesome. Well, I always ask people to say it again because sometimes people aren't ready for me to get to that question. So say it again because you're an
Okay.
amazing coach, right? And we want people who've been a little bit disconnected, who have, I always say, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's not blood in the water, there's excess in the water, and the sharks come
Yes.
when
Yes.
there's excess in the water, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, Coach Claudette, so that people can get their pens out, their phones out, how can they reach you again?
Okay. My website is CoachClaudette.com, and my email address is Claudette at CoachClaudette.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. I appreciate you, from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
For those out there,
Thank you for having
oh,
me.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
for those out there who are looking for an amazing coach, Coach Claudette is amazing. And you can see I can't get enough of her. We can talk all night. For anyone who's looking for a clinician who's in Maryland, D.C., Dope Black Therapist is a licensed clinical professional counselor, and I'm accepting new clients. You can make a consulting appointment at CandiceRDickens.com. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening. Thanks, Coach.